S.t.e. QST from the Denver Radio Club. Welcome to the Denver Radio Club Net, being held on repeater W0TX. This is a meeting held on the air every Sunday evening at about 8:30 p.m. Good evening. My name is Jim. My call sign is Kilo Zero Tango Oscar Romeo. I'll be in that control station transmitting from Littleton, Colorado. If there's any emergency or priority traffic during this net, say break at any pause, and the net will be suspended until the emergency or priority traffic is completed. This net is for Denver Radio Club members and all interested radio amateurs. We're here to share information concerning any ham-related activities. Regular meetings of the Denver Radio Club are held on the third Wednesday of every month at 7 p.m. And with the COVID-19 restrictions, we do virtual meetings, and we conduct those through Google Meets. If you'd like to join us, you can get that address from our website on W0TX.org. Or if you're on our mail list, you'll get an email that has that address on it. Our next meeting will be on November the 17th. An Elmer session is held at 6 p.m. just prior to monthly meeting. And this session addresses any amateur radio questions that you might have. So whether you're new to amateur radio or interested in some new application of amateur radio, this is a session where you can get help. Also, every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., except the third Wednesday when our monthly meeting is held, there's a learning net held on 145.490 megahertz and 448.625 megahertz. This is another area where you can find answers for amateur radio-related questions. As a general interest club, we provide emergency communications for the Salvation Army, City of Wheat Ridge Police Department, the City of Lakewood Police Department, the West Metro Fire District, and St. Anthony's West Hospital. We're always looking for members who would like to participate in this support, and please contact our club president if you'd like to help. Our current president is Jerry Vilhauer, W0GB. Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club website address is W0TX.org. Again, Jerry's telephone number is 303-467-0223. The Denver Radio Club also participates in the ARRL Volunteer Examiner Program. But again, with the COVID-19 restrictions, we have to have areas that have enough separation for those taking tests. And so we don't have our testing as often as we had. We've published that information on our website as far as when we have test sessions planned and what their location and times are. And we also have a number of members here on other clubs that join us here on this net that pass on test dates and times here in the Denver area. So if you're looking for testing locations and times, just stay tuned. Hopefully we can get you connected. If you have other questions regarding VE testing, you can contact our VE team lead, Tom Krzyzewski, KC2CAG, and Tom's number is 720-284-1911. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K02R serving as net control. Are there any special announcements or bulletins for the net this evening? If so, please call now. Before regular check-ins, I'd like to welcome and invite any visiting radio amateurs to check into the Denver Radio Club net this evening. During this net, we disable the requirement for the 100 Hz PO repeater access tone. So you can use either 145.490 megahertz with a minus 600 kilohertz offset, or 448.625 megahertz with a minus 5 megahertz offset. Are there any visiting radio amateurs who'd like to check into the Denver Radio Club net tonight? If so, please call now. Next, I'd like to welcome and invite any newly licensed or recently upgraded radio amateurs to check in. Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
I will now take regular check-ins in groups. Please let me know if you have traffic when you check in, and I'll get back to you. First, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
N0ETV, Lance, Aurora, no traffic.
Kilo Sierra 0 Echo, Alex in Denver.
Whiskey Bravo 0, Alpha Kilo Victor, WB0 AKV, Rich in Westminster, no traffic.
Kilo Alpha 5, Delta Kilo Sierra, Ken in Arvada.
Kilo Foxtrot 0, Alpha Foxtrot Quebec, Troy in Denver.
Alpha Fox 0 Echo, Alex Bromfield.
And at control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. I think your station trying to check in right at the start was all noise. I could not understand anything intelligible, so that was you, but couldn't hear it. Next I had N0ETV Lance, KS0E Alex, WB0AKV Rich, KA5DKS Ken, KF0AFQ Troy, and AF0E Alex. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through E, Alpha through Echo. Please call now.
Kilo Charlie 0, Charlie Zulu, Bob in Thornton.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. I heard the station in there again. I could barely hear a voice in there, but nothing intelligible, so sorry. Next I had KC0CZ Bob. Then we move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. please call now.
Alpha 0 Juliet Kilo, AA0 JK. Fred in Armada, good evening, no traffic.
W0GV Jerry Westminster.
Kilo 6 Hotel Juliet Victor, K6H JV Tom Arvada, no traffic.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. AA0JK Fred, W0GV Jerry, and K6HGV Tom. Make a second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters F through J, Foxtrot through Juliet. Please call now. All right, we'll move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now.
Kilo 0 Lima Papa Romeo Lanier in Inglewood.
Kilo Echo 0 Oscar Sierra India, Tom and Highlands Ranch, no traffic. Kilo 0 Kilo Papa Sierra, Kevin Lakewood.
WG0N, Dave in Lakewood.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. K0LPR Lanier, KE0OSI Tom, K0KPS Kevin, and WG0N Dave. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters K through O, Kilo through Oscar. Please call now. Moving down the alphabet, radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
Whiskey Bravo 2, Sierra Hotel Romeo, Sten in Denver, no traffic.
Please copy Kilo 0 Tango Oscar Charlie, David in Evergreen, no traffic, over.
Bravo 9er, Tango Quebec Hotel, Bruce Mobile in Thornton, no traffic.
November 0 Tango Romeo Papa, Jim in Lakewood, good evening.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. WB2SHR Stan, K0TOC David, and Bruce, I got W9, but I did not copy the whole call sign. It's dropped out. Could you come back with that, please?
This is Bruce, Kilo Bravo 9er, Tango Quebec Hotel, KB9 TQH, Mobile in Thornton.
right, thank you, Bruce, is KB9QTH. And next I had N0TRP Jim. Let me make a second call for radio amateurs. This call suffix is beginning of letters P through T, Papa through Tango. Please call now.
W0TX repeater.
Kilo Echo 0, Romeo Victor Zulu, John, Lakewood, no traffic.
Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. KE0 RVC John. Move on down the alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call out.
KF0UV, Marshall and Glendale.
AC0VC, Bill and Elizabeth.
November 6, Whiskey Hotel Victor, Dick in Arvada.
Kilo Delta 0, Whiskey Papa Quebec, Tom and Aurora.
Kilo 0, Yankee Echo Sierra, Ken in Broomfield.
WD0CIB, WD0CIB, Charles in Denver, got here late. No traffic.
Net Control would like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-ins. KF0 UV Marshall, AC0VC Bill, N6 WHV Dick, KD0 WDQ Tom, K0YES Ken, and WD0CIV Charles. Make second call for radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters U through Z, uniform through Zulu. Please call now. All right, I'll open up the entire alphabet. Radio amateurs whose call suffixes begin letters A through Z, Alpha through Zulu. Please call now. And at Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. K0 DPR Paul. Be a chance for late check-ins a little later in the net. And at this time, I'd like to turn the net over to our club president, Jerry Bill Howard, W0GV. Go ahead, Jerry, the net is yours.
All righty, Jim, well, thanks for doing the net. Welcome, everybody. Looks like we got a pretty good turnout this evening. Hope everybody got their clocks turned back. That's quite an ordeal when you got a lot of clocks. Only thing I got to bring up, I guess, is our next meeting on November 17th. It'll be, of course, a virtual meeting. And the program is going to be interesting about building VHF, UHF antennas using metal foil tape, and obtainable at any big box store, I imagine. And this is going to be presented by John, W6NBC. We've had John do a presentation for us before. He does a great job, and he's interesting. He comes up with some great stuff. So mark your calendars for November 17th. And I think that's all I got to bring up. As far as I know, everything's operating, and Back to you, Jim. Step 3, everybody. W0GV.
W0GV, this is K02R. All right, thanks, Jerry. We do appreciate that. And I don't see anyone that indicated they had traffic when they check in. This is the Denver Radio Club Net, W0TX, and this is K02R Net Control Station. Does anyone have any other comments, information, or business for the net? Please call now. All right, do we have any late check-ins? Please call now.
K0RCW, Kilo 0 Romeo Charlie Whiskey, Robert, Lakewood, no traffic.
And Net Control, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome the following check-in. K0RCW, Robert. And next, let me go through and review the upcoming Hamfests and weekend contests. We have 2 Hamfests on the calendar. Let's hope they continue to stay on, and that we can actually get back in the groove of going to some Hamfests. First one I have is going to be Northern Colorado's Amateur Radio Club's Winter 2022 Hamfest. That's going to be on Saturday, January the 15th. That's going to be held at the Ranch, and that's on 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland. Doors open at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Admission this year will be $7. And you have great door prizes, license exam, and some amateur radio presentations, exhibits and demonstrations, and of course new and used equipment for sale. So let's hope that one stays in there. Their license exam begins at 9:30, and if you just come to take an exam, there is no admission fee. They say be sure to bring a copy of your current license. If you need more information, their website is http://ncarc.net. And second we have on the calendar is going to be the ARA Swap Fest, and that's going to be at the Adams County Fairgrounds at 9755 Henderson Road in Brighton. That's going to be held on Sunday, February the 20th. Doors are open 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and admission is $5. And they will also have VE testing that begins at 10 o'clock. If you need some more information, let's see, their website is, I think it's on here someplace. I guess for more information, they say jjweinb@gmail.com. So we'll keep reminding you of that one. Let's hope that both of those come to reality. It's been too long that we haven't had a chance to get out and meet one another and enjoy the Hamfest. So, all right, let's see what we got coming up this next weekend for contests. The first one I have on the list is WAEDX contest. That's RTTY. That one begins on November 13th at 0 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters, and that, of course, is a digital contest. Next, we have the Day of the YLs contest. That begins on November 13th at 0 hours Zulu, goes to November 14th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 2 meters. That's a CW and phone contest. Next we have the PODX S.t.e.m Club Triple Play Low Band. That begins on November 13th at 0 hours Zulu, goes through November 15th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 40 meters, and that is a digital contest. Next, we have the 1010 International Fall Contest. That's digital. That begins on November 13th at 0001 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 10 meters. And next we have the SARL VHF UHF Analog Contest. That begins on November 13th at 0500 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 1100 hours Zulu. And that one's on 6 meters through 23 centimeters. Let's see, next one we have the JIDX Phone Contest. It begins on November 13th at 0700 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 1300 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That is a phone contest. And next we have the OKOM DX contest. That begins on November 13th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 1200 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 10 meters. That's a CW contest. Next we have the SKCC Weekend Sprintathon. That begins on November 13th at 1200 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 23:59 hours Zulu. That's on 160 meters through 6 meters. That's a CW contest. Next we have the 5th Saturday Sprint. That begins on November 13th at 1600 hours Zulu, goes through November 13th until 1800 hours Zulu. That's on 80 through 10 meters. That's a CW contest. Next we have the CQWE contest. That begins on November 13th at 1900 hours Zulu, goes through November 15th until 0500 hours Zulu. That's on 160 through 70 centimeters. That's a CW phone and digital contest. Next we have the AWA Bruce Kelly 1929 QSO Party. That begins on November 13th at 2300 hours Zulu, goes through November 22nd until 0300 hours Zulu, and that's 160 through 20 meters. That is a CW contest. And next we have the FIRAC HF contest. That begins on November 14th at 0700 hours Zulu, goes through November 14th until 1700 hours Zulu. That's an 80 through 10 meters, and that's a phone contest. And lastly, we have the Classic Exchange contest. Begins on November 14th at 1400 hours Zulu, goes through November 17th until 0800 hours Zulu. That is on 160 through 2 meters, and that is a phone contest. And a couple reminders. The High Noon Net, they meet daily at 12 noon, where the early check-ins beginning at 11:30. They meet on a frequency of 7.240 megahertz, which is on the 40 meter band. And the Salvation Army Saturnet, they meet 1500 hours Zulu, that's 8 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. They meet Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on a frequency of 14.325 megahertz, which is on the 20 meter band. The Denver Radio Club maintains the following repeaters for use by all radio amateurs: the 147.330 megahertz with a positive offset, the 145.490 megahertz with a negative offset, the 224.380 megahertz with a negative offset, the 449.350 megahertz with a negative offset, the 448.625 megahertz with a negative offset, the 447.825 megahertz with a negative offset. Our digital turbo repeater operating on Brandmeister on 446.7875 megahertz with a negative offset, and our C4 FM digital repeater on 449.775 megahertz with a negative offset. 147.825 megahertz repeater is configured for narrowband FM, and that requires a digital coded squelch of 073. There are two repeaters on 147.330 megahertz. Repeater in Lakewood requires a 100 hertz PO tone, and the second repeater located east near Franktown requires a 131.8 hertz PO tone. We have a second repeater on the same frequency out east to improve coverage along the Front Range and into the canyons. However, having two repeaters on the same frequency, with each repeater having different frequency propagations, we ask that you monitor the frequency to ensure neither is in use prior to making your call. The 449.350 megahertz repeater provides wide area coverage, and this repeater hosts our Echolink station, W0TX node number 4140. And the 448.625 megahertz repeater is linked with 145.490 megahertz repeater. Each repeater requires a 100 hertz PO tone for activation, except as noted, and each uses standard offsets. And for packet, we have an AX25 node on 145.050 megahertz repeater, and we have a 6 meter repeater on 53.09 megahertz with an input on 52.09 megahertz with the required 107.2 hertz PO tone. Your support of the Denver Radio Club is greatly appreciated. If you'd like to participate in any of the many club activities, please contact our club president, Jerry Vilhauer, W0GV. I'd like to thank everyone for checking into the Denver Radio Club Net tonight. Your support is greatly appreciated. I hope you all have a great week. 7-3. And tonight we had a total of 28 check-ins, and the Denver Radio Club W0TX Net is now closed at 9:02, and repeater is available for regular use. This is K0TUR Net Control Station, and please stand by a moment while I return the PL tone to the repeater.
PL on.
And it's K0TUR. I'll be clear. Good night all.
The waveform is repeated. So our period is not 2 pi anymore, it's just pi, like this. So it's 1 plus 1, area of A plus area of B, divided by pi, which is 0.636.
Wait, no, isn't that meant to be 637?
Here's Sagan. 637.
Yeah.
Why would it be 637?
Because when you go into the calculator here, if you go 2 divided by pi
equals
0.6366.
So you reckon
rounded up to 0.637.
7. Well, I'm going to say that it's 636 because that's kind of like symmetrical. And it's double 0.318 that I rounded before. So I'm sticking with 636. You reckon 637?
I'm the type of person who likes symmetrical and all, but
yep.
637.
Okay, leave it in the comments down below. Thanks, Sagan.
Yeah.
NBC Television.